Hi, my name is Imelda. Welcome to my YouTube fitness channel. Today I'm going to work a little bit using 5-pound plates. You can use dumbbells, kettlebells. It doesn't have to be plates. That's just all I have available right now in my little workspace. So I'm going to start out by just rolling my shoulders back, pinching my shoulder blades slightly, and then I have a little baby bend in my knees, just a baby, not a lot. And I'm tucking my tailbone in just a tiny bit and pulling the rib cage down just a tiny bit. Like I'm bracing my core as if somebody was going to give me a gut punch. And that's always a healthy space to work from. Now I'm going to take my feet slightly wider than my hips, just slightly, not very much at all. I just want to make sure that when I step back into my reverse lunge, one foot isn't behind the other, because that will really challenge my balance. So my arms are just relaxed by my sides. I do have a baby bend in my elbows. And what I'm going to do is just get light in the right foot and just step it straight back as far as I can, and then find the ball of the foot. And here I'm simply going to dip and rise and dip and rise. Your knee does not have to touch the ground, but I mean, it's a bonus if you can get it down there. And rise and dip and rise. Now dip and hold for a moment. Just hold. You feel that burn? That's good for you. Let's lift a tiny bit and lower and lift and lower and lift and lower. Go all the way up and all the way down and all the way up and all the way down. Lift, lower, and just hold here. Pulse, 2, 3, 4, lift and lower and lift and lower and lift. Power forward. How'd that feel? I felt a serious burn. I hope you did too. Let's do that same thing on the other side. This mat behind me is just really in my way. Let's do the same thing on the other side before we add on to it. So a nice little bend in the knees. Feet are wider than the hips. Roll your shoulders back. Tuck your tailbone just a tiny bit. Step back far. Be brave. Step back far. Here we go. Just reach the toe back. Then find the ball of your foot. Hips are pointing forward. Shoulders stay over the hips. So try not to lean forward like this. Keep your heart shining forward. A nice, delicious bend in that front leg as you dip down and rise up. And dip and rise. And just nice and steady and slow. Just keeping that going. Feeling the burn. That mat behind me is sliding. I'm going to have to move it in a minute. Here we go. Just dip and rise and dip and rise. Dip and just hold here and feel the intensity. Woo! Now we're going to just barely come up, back down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and up for a break. Woo! Who knew that coming up from a dip was going to be a break? Come all the way up. Woo! Down, and up, and down for the hold. Pulse, 2, 3, 4. Come up, and down, and up, and down, and power it forward. My legs are quivering. I don't know about you. Woo! We're going to make it a little bit harder. Just a little, not too much. All right, so this time I'm going to power back and power right back up. But when I come back up, I'm going to try, first of all, not to rise all the way up, to stay in a little squat. I'm just going to barely tap my foot. So when I power back, I'm lifting my opposite arm. So here we go. Same as we did before. Bend in the knee, stepping straight back, but not one foot behind the other. So step it back, find your lunge. Now, when you dip, lift your weight and come back up. And dip, lift your weight and come back up. And dip, lift your weight and come back up. You could do both weights. Yeah, it's harder, but you can definitely do it. Breathe through it. Nice. Now dip, and when you come up, stay in a crouch. Just bring that toe up and step back. Dip, be in a crouch. Woo! This is where it's really at, guys. Burning, quivering. Woo! Breathe. Last one. Coming up for air. Yikes. You know, that will be very challenging, even with no weights. So you don't need the weights to get a really good burn with that little set there. But since we started with weights on one side, I'm going to do the weights on the other side too. Take a nice deep breath. Roll your shoulders back. All right, here we go. Shoulders are rolled back. Nice deep breathing. Bend in the right leg. Reminding myself not to step narrow, but step wide. Train tracks instead of a snowboard. Here we go. I'm just letting the weights hang to start. Stepping right back and dipping and rising and dipping and rising and dip and rise. Dip at the opposite arm, rise. Dip, rise, and just keep that going. I'm going to do both arms up and slowly down. Both arms up, slowly down. Don't swing them. Use your muscles to control them. Breathe deeply each time. Now here comes the lift. Stay in your squat and you're on the ball of the foot. Step it back. Lift and step it back. And lift and step it back. Lift, step it back. I started to swing there for a moment. Got to remind myself not to swing. Now that is intense on your bottom, on your quads. Arms are working for you. I'm going to set those down. Whew. So that one little set really is working your whole body. I encourage you, hit replay. Yeah, hit replay. Maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times. I'm going to. Anyway, join me again next time. That was fun.